Wide flowing river, there's an ocean for forever. There's a flood of forgiveness in my heart for you. There's a mountain in my mind, lush green valleys in my eye. There's a forest, a whole forest of forgiveness in my heart for you. There's a star up in the sky for every tear, oh, that I've cried, oh, forgiving and reliving you, yes, you. There may be a galaxy of faith, one that can hold all our love and pain, yes. That's the kind of space for forgiveness in my heart for you, for you, hey.
So hey, I'm Rat Child, and I'm coming to you here from the lands of the Wurundjeri people and the Kulin Nation, in a city or a place called Naarm, which is also known by the name Melbourne, in the country that's known as Australia. So the song Forgiveness that I'm playing as part of this video is like a very personal song for me, a trigger warning, I guess, about suicide. I lost someone very dear to me to suicide, and it was a terribly, terribly sad time of my life, and it's still a terribly sad event. And anyone who's lost someone to suicide will identify with the complex array of feelings that one has around an event like that, including obviously a lot of guilt and guilt about that the person died, but also guilt about what came before and what you could have done and what you didn't do and what you said and what you didn't say. So when I was processing, like very deep in the deep, darkest days of grief, when I was processing all of that grief and loss, forgiveness came to me, and it kind of poured into me. It was probably the most akin to a spiritual experience of writing a song that I've ever had, writing forgiveness. It just poured into me. And when this refrain, let this be me forgiving myself, that I was singing that to myself, that's what I needed to hear. I also knew that other people would also need to hear that, and that it would mean something to other people to hear this song for their own reasons. Yeah, so that kind of played into what my creative process is. It used to take a lot of time, and now I have 2 kids now, so I don't have the same amount of time. So it's interesting to see how I can achieve the same thing by doing it in dribs and drabs. But usually, like, I will sit with the guitar, and like a melody will, out of nowhere, a chord progression or something will come to me, and then usually I find some words to go with that, which usually becomes a hook, and then I flesh that out into a song. That's kind of like, yeah. Yeah, I think that this city, Nam, or as it's known more commonly, Melbourne, is well known for being a really creative city. I'm lucky that I grew up here, although that makes it hard to leave as well. There's so much going on in Melbourne. There's so many different scenes, which makes for such a culturally rich city. And there's also a lot of multicultural diversity, which means that there's a great diversity in the types of art that are here, although, different communities have been given different permission to practice art and to be artists. Of course, it's easier for someone who looks like me and who has my cultural experience to throw caution to the wind and be an artist. But there is a wonderful community here of arts and culture, and in my particular scene, there's like, amongst some of us, there's a real feeling of family and community and togetherness, and that doesn't always extend out to like all pockets of the scene. Of course, like, you're always going to get different people with different agendas, but there are certainly pockets of people in the scene who really care about each other and really want to support each other. That's what I've experienced, and also how I try to come to the community, to be giving to my fellow artists and giving support, and I certainly have received that support back as well. It's rich in culture, rich in creativity. The community, hit and miss, but when it's there, it's solid as gold. I've probably spoken way too long, so I'm gonna call it a day. Thanks so much for having me, Magz FM.